What? Why did that just go to Amazon? Mute. Why is this full screen? I hate that. Windows like just doesn't work sometimes. The day when I can fully switch to Linux will be a good day. Come on, chat. Where's the slide out? What are you doing? There it is. There it is. Okay. Okay. Let's look at all this stuff. Modern. Legacy flight model, not for modern flight model. So modern and legacy. What does that even mean? Realistic, FSX, intermediate. Damage, precision, symmetric thrust, okay. So this is like the old system, I guess? And the new system is just something else entirely? I guess modern equals better. So leave it at that, see how that goes. Um, I know in here there's some things, so let's see. Turn that off. Assisted yoke off. Assisted landing off. Let's turn that off. Aircraft systems, auto mixture, limited fuel, gyro drift. I mean, that's not that important. Um, crash damage, stress damage, icing. Icing, yeah, we'll leave that on. Right, smart cam. Aircraft systems, let's turn those off. Let's turn those off. ATC voices, yeah, let's leave those on. Why not? Okay. Everything's pretty much set to be realistic. Let's just go somewhere I'm familiar with, like Quagga Beach. Let's fly something I'm familiar with, like a Caravan. You know what? I'm gonna be right back. I just need to use the washroom. Let's move that where you can see it. Okay. Oh, you know what? I think I messed up my controls as well. Change my controls because I was using my friend's yoke. It's so good. Not defaults. Nope. Yeah, that's the one I want. What was that other one? Thumbstick paddle controls. Yeah, no. Let's not do that. Let's do this one. Okay. And let's go here. Let's go live weather. Although it's gonna be nighttime, so I'm just gonna change it from being nighttime once I get in game. My throttle is like kind of in a messed up spot. That's fine. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. Oh, might be right back. I need to take that off. Whoops. Oh, and the game just crashed. Cool. Oh my god. Fantastic. At least it didn't crash my computer, just the game. Let's move the throttle slightly forwards. Yeah, it's a little better, I think. Sure. This game takes so long to load. Way too long to load. Okay, let's go back to that. Live. Let's change it to different time. I don't think that actually takes though. See what happens.
Charlie Alpha Tango 4 traffic Cessna Charlie. Foxtrot Lima Kilo Yankee taking
Did
off
it actually
runway
work?
29er straight on departure.
Oh, just the time. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. So, what is the wind? Looks like wind is calm. Let's just take a quick look. I mean, it's pretty calm. So, what do I want to test for realism first? First off, let's look at airspeed for the Caravan. Because the Caravan should rotate on its own roughly around 70 to 75 knots. Um, even with, what's the weight and balance at? Oh, wow, okay, so we're only at 6,500 pounds. Let's add more. Say like, let's see how much. And this isn't even gross. Well, it depends on the Caravan. The Caravans I flew had a maximum of um 97 for a max takeoff weight or max ramp weight. The max takeoff weight was 9036, I believe, was the takeoff weight, and 9097 was was what we were allowed to plan for departure with, because you burn some fuel and everything as you start up and taxi and all that stuff. Um, so why is this not 100%? Oh, because it's like burning fuel, right? So let's see how this feels. It should, even at max weight, it should start to rotate at 70 to 75 knots with the trim set properly. So let's just set it, yeah, about there. That's about right. Zoom this out a little bit. And let's see what happens. And my pedals are not working. Shit. Oh, you know what? I didn't plug them in. That's why. User error. Let's restart. So it should work now.
Charlie Alpha Tango 4 traffic Cessna Charlie. Foxtrot Lima Kilo Yankee taking off runway 29er departing straight out.
Okay. Why did my FPS get really bad all of a sudden? I don't know, but it's annoying. What the hell? Why? Why? Oh my god, why? Whoops. So if I go like this and go new project, okay. Aircraft editor, resync. No. There. Oh no, not really. Why is it so messed up? Seems a little better now. This game, man, I tell you what. Okay. So, is my weight still? Yep. Okay. So, should rotate Oh, let's make sure my rudders works. What's going on there? It's like halfway up my travel and my rudder is like full. What is up with that? What is this one? There's that brake. There's that brake. That's really weird. Excuse me. Well, regardless, it's working. Take the brake off. All right. Over torqued already. There we go. Airspeed is good. See, like, look at my airspeed. My airspeed is 50, and I'm already lifting off. That is not accurate at all. Not at all. Okay. Well, if that's not accurate, then like I don't expect anything else to be. I did hear about some kind of bug that the flaps are producing more lift than they're supposed to be. So that could explain the fast rotation. The only problem though is that rate of climb is a little suspect as well. Although it has actually been a hot minute since I've actually flown an airplane in real life. But I would not be climbing out at 62 knots. Like that's not accurate at all. Okay. What else can we test in here? Can I fly the Caravan upside down? Because you can't in real life. Let's just leave the throttle up there pretty high. Let's bring the flaps up. I mean, it is realistic in the sense that when you raise the flaps, you sink a little bit, or at least your nose drops and you sink a little bit. If you don't counteract it. My prop is a little bit oversped. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Can I fly the Caravan upside down? Because if I can, that's pretty bad. So let's try it. The question is though, can I fly it without sinking? I'm overspeeding because I'm descending. So I've got full nose up. Oh. I don't know what just happened, but that's a little bit weird. I don't know what just happened there. Let's do that again. See if I can actually sustain. So I lost a bunch of altitude. Gaining it back. Airspeed is Airspeed's dropping. But not by much, and I'm still climbing at 700 feet a minute. Yeah, so that's not... What is going on here? Yeah. So that's not accurate, because you're definitely not flying a Caravan upside down. Upside down. Am I actually stalling? No, I'm still maintaining my altitude for the most part. Okay. Now the other thing is I did a test when I was flying with my friend the other day. We were doing some failures, so I had set a fire failure, and the only thing I had noticed was right when I was on my flight plan, I was about to head out over the water, and I looked at my torque, and my torque was dropping. But other than that, there was no indication that there was a fire. So they clearly don't have the integrations made for like any sort of auditory warning, because the Caravan has a really super annoying fire alarm. And to turn it off, one of the first things we did was we pulled the fuse. Where's the fuse? Standby power. It was like 3 down, 2 over was what we, where it was on ours. I'm pretty sure. Beacon. I don't know. But so yeah, that wasn't very realistic, because I was like, okay, well there's no indication that there's a fire other than the torque dropping, which that's not cool. So what I had done was I shut the engine off and feathered the prop, because in a Caravan, if you feather the prop, your glide range is increased significantly. So let's see what happens when I do that. If I pull my power and trim for, pull my power, my airspeed is still like crazy high. Pull my power and trim for 80, which would be 80 to 85 would be my standard best glide in a Caravan. But with this flat bug, I don't know how accurate any of the testing will be. Okay, so if I get my airspeed. Now, this is kinda weird, because what is going on with the frame rate? It's brutal. Like, my descent rate's only 600, which is really messed up. So let's just feather, cut the engine. High above Qualcomm. Now my descent rate Well, I'm turning now. Man, what is going on here? This is not right. This frame rate is just... I'm gonna have to restart the game again, I think. Runway's right there. Yeah, this is... a little bit... Like, this descent rate is really low for being completely no power. Now, does it make any difference if I don't feather the prop or leave it fine pitch? Because it would in real life. The descent rate would be so high. I'm trying to remember when I first did my training. My descent rate when we cut the power and left the prop at fine pitch was extremely high. Like I'm still at 2,000 feet. About the right speed. Yeah, no, this is not realistic. I don't know what's going on with my frame rate, but well, it's a little bit better now. Let's see if I've judged my distance right and can land at Qualicum without doing some crazy stuff. I think I might be a bit far. Maybe not, we'll see. I'll feather the prop. Two miles at 1,000 feet. Yeah, I'm a little high. So yeah, it's a little suspect. There's something going on with the flaps and all that. I might have just screwed myself lowering the flaps.
500.
It might be okay. I'm just flying with pedals and trim right now. Okay, there we go. One right, one white, one red. My airspeed is a little bit screwy, but so it is with the flap speed. I'm gonna hit the fence. Let's not hit the fence, or try not to.
Stall. Stall. Stall.
Not bad for having cut the power. So, yeah, I don't actually know. I don't think I can actually test anything properly. With the airspeeds being that bad. I wonder what it's like in a 172.
Charlie Alpha Tango 4 traffic Cessna Charlie. Foxtrot Lima Kilo Yankee taking off runway 29er departing straight out.
Okay, so 172 will rotate at about, why is that? Is my trim set properly? Yeah, about there. Okay, 172 will rotate at about, excuse me, 60? 60 to 65. No flaps, okay. So, let's see what happens. The P factor and torque, etc. is somewhat realistic. So that seems about right. Maybe it's just if you have flaps out, it messes with things. I'll just go around and see what happens when I've got flaps. Joystick is coming loose again. Oh God. I really need to actually have a semi-permanent setup for this because it's so ghetto. Okay, 2200, that's about what I would fly at in the circuit in a 172. 2200 RPM, that is. Just to avoid being too fast. I don't know what it's looking at there, but that's not what I want it to look at. And in the circuit, you want the runway to be roughly 1/2 to 3/4 of the way up the strut. So that's about right. At least that's what you want for a 172. Let's see if this act. If I pull the power here, turn. It's my airspeed. Yeah, wow, I think this is very unrealistic. Only 200 feet? I'm this high? Yeah, that's pretty messed up. Typically, if you cut your power abeam the threshold, you'll be lined up pretty well to land at the 1,000-foot marker. with no power on, but I only lost 500 feet. That seems a bit sus. It's a bit sus. Because it definitely seemed like I was, you know, about the right distance from the runway, based on where the based on where the runway was in my wing strut. So far, things are not looking that good for realism. Something weird going on. Does that mean it's any less fun? Not really. So if I pause and where's my direct to? What is Qualicum again? Qualicum is, oh shoot, Cat 4. See how far away this says I am. Whoops. Point 0.7 miles. Yeah, okay. That might be fairly realistic then. Because typically when you do a normal approach, a regular 3-degree approach is going to be approximately 300 feet per mile. So, ish, depending on the airplane a little bit. But that's what I would always plan for when I was coming in to land. You know, if I was coming in straight in to land, then about 5 miles back I'd start slowing down a bit. And then about 3 miles back I'd be about 1,000 feet above the airport. And then I'd begin my regular descent at about 3 miles, 2.5 to 3 miles at about that 300 feet a minute. So let's see what happens here. Okay, I'm 3 miles out now. So I'll just go a little bit farther out. And actually, what is the altitude? I don't know what the altitude of Qualicum Beach is. I forgot to look. Excuse me. If I turn around and start a regular approach at about 3 miles, at about 1,000 feet, at about 80, and I should be good. We'll throw... How does that perspective look? So we want our 80 about. We want our 172 standard approach power would be 1500 to 1700 RPM. And this says I'm low. I'm judging that by the lights. It's got 2 reds. So if I add a little bit of power, say 1700. It'll slow my descent rate. Yeah, I mean, my descent rate looks good. It's 400 feet a minute. At 80, at approximately 1700 RPM. Yeah, it's about right. Okay, now I'm a little bit high. Lower the power a bit more. .172s float a lot, so I would likely cut the power here. I probably would have cut it further back, honestly, but because this thing is probably going to float a lot, like an unrealistic amount. Okay, so I'm what, like halfway down the runway-ish? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. A little bit more than halfway down the runway. Yeah, that's pretty realistic. I'm just trying to think. It's been a while since I flew 172 regularly. But yeah, if I was aiming to flare, you know, right at the threshold, then you would touch down, you know, roughly at the 1,000-foot markers, depending on all sorts of conditions, like your weight and the wind and everything. Qualicum, I believe, is like 2,700 feet long-ish. What does this say? Oh no, 3,500 feet long. 3,600 feet long, so almost 1,000 feet longer than I thought. But that's pretty normal. Now, if I want to land a lot shorter, so right now, where was I? I was like a little bit more than halfway. There's the taxiway. And I was landing with a tailwind. But just to keep it consistent, let's get full power and then go. It's my trim. Okay. Kind of messed myself up here by taking off from halfway down the runway, but that's the thing, is I wouldn't be climbing out at 50 something. It'd be VY is like 73, so Yeah, this seems more realistic. 73, 600 feet a minute. Yeah, that's about right. And then if I wait till I'm 500 feet AGL before I turn, make shallow turns, typically I would be at my 1,000-foot circuit altitude by the time I turn downwind. So I'm about 90 degrees off runway heading now. And then I would climb up to circuit altitude at 1,000 before I turn downwind. So now I'm at 1,000. And then when I turn, I should be at roughly the distance from the runway that I want, being that halfway to 3/4 up the wing strut in a 172. So that's about right. Okay, that's pretty good. See how well a short field landing works. If I can pull it off. So how you would normally do your approach in a 172 is when the threshold is about a 45-degree angle over your shoulder. So like about there. You bring your power back to your approach power, which in a 172 is 1500 to 1700 RPMs. So let's just bring it to like 1600. And you bring the nose up. For your 80. Okay, lower 1 notch of flaps. And then with 1 notch of flaps, we'll be a little bit slower. And then with full flaps, we'd approach at 70.
500.
So we'll see how that goes. I'm high at 70, but I'm dropping because I went idle. Now, you wouldn't normally try to slip with flaps, but I'm a bit high. And if I want to land short, then I need to slow down, get down. Yeah, no, I'm still really high. Ooh, so as you can see, even with full flaps, 172 likes to float. I've got full brakes. So significantly shorter because there's the taxiway right there that I stopped after last time. What about soft fill takeoff? So we want 1 notch of flaps. We want full power. We want full back on the elevator until the nose comes off the ground. And of course it's really dramatic, this game, but I'm hovering the nose wheel right now. At least I should be. Okay, I'm airborne. You want to push the nose back down to speed up. Ground effect. Watch out for the fence. Yeah, see that's, I mean I was quite a ways down the runway, so it's a little bit different, but huh. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like there's certain things that are fairly realistic and others that are not. Is this weather live? Live weather. Okay. So 172 the service ceiling is about let's see, where's Cameron Lake. Let's start climbing up. I'll climb at best rate. I'll just set the autopilot up for it. So if I set the autopilot, let's just do heading. I don't know why it's setting my heading over there. And we set vertical speed. No, we want FLC. And we want it to be 73. Oops. 73 knots. VNAV all the way up to, let's say, 15,000 feet while I look up what the rate is and set heading mode and then turn it on. And what is it doing? I want FLC mode. There we go. Now, as it gets colder at altitude, I'm pretty sure the game's gonna give me ice, which is not accurate. Just gonna Google the service ceiling of 172. Depending on the model, approximately 13,000 to 15,000 feet. So what does service ceiling mean? It means once the service ceiling is met, then the aircraft shouldn't be able to climb at more than like 50 feet per minute. I'm pretty sure that's the definition. It might be a little bit different, but let's start turning to the right. Go a little bit southeast. My flaps aren't still down, are they? No. This thing's gonna take forever to climb up there. Oh my god. Now the glide ratio is if memory serves, it's about a mile per 1,000 feet. Glide ratio. Oh. According to this, I'm a bit off. Glide ratio is Oh, 68 knots. I don't remember the glide ratio being. Let's say 172S, because I think this is an S. Or it might be an SP. Data sheet. Best glide 68. Doesn't have the distance. Rotation speed 55, so that's, yeah. Best rate says 74. That's about right. I guess. Right, so it says approximately 1.5 miles per 1,000 feet. So 1.1 mile is like 5,600 feet, I think. How many feet in a nautical mile? 6,000. Okay, yeah, so it's about 9,000 feet. So let's see if let's see if I can use Google Maps here to figure out the distance between Cameron Lake there. So Cameron Lake, let's go measure distance to where I am out in here. 16 miles, 15 miles, 14 miles. Okay, so Cameron Lake, I don't know what the altitude there is. But it's so if I'm gonna glide 14 miles, I need to be 15 miles divided by what did I say? I'll lose 1,000 feet for every mile and a half. 5 times. So I should be able to go about 20 miles-ish? Man, I need to go to the bathroom again. Be right back. What's wrong with me right now? Oh, what happened to my... What happened to my... Oh my god. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so, um, 6 miles from Qualicum at 6,000 feet. If I go 6 times 1.5, should be able to glide for 9 miles. So let's just go over to Lasqueti. And let's go over to Lasqueti. And we're gonna say, did I set it? Yeah, okay. Seven miles. So at 63, 6.3 divided by should be able to glide about 9 miles. So we will go, whoops, over to the edge of Lasqueti. We'll set the weather up to be clear skies. This is ground level, I think, but we're just gonna set no wind. Okay. Okay, so we're at the edge of Lasqueti. We're still only 8, so we're about 9 miles. So let's go direct to enter, and I want to say let's turn the autopilot off. Whoops. Just while I set it up. So I want to go down to, like, let's say 200 feet. We want to go at a vertical speed, or no, we want to go at FLC at 65 knots. Oh, I'm already getting closer. Let's 65 knots. Why did it not draw a nav on there? I don't know. We'll say heading. I don't, like, this is so weird. Oh shoot, I'm getting closer. Okay, let's just circle back around. I'm gonna say the heading is gonna be to my right, about there. We're gonna say heading mode, FLC 65 knots. When we're there. Okay, let's cut the power, turn on the autopilot. It's gonna start turning. We're at 9.2. Oops. That was about right. We'll make it slightly out to try to join somewhat of a base to land. But according to the data sheet, I should make it. Now, I think if I cut the power, I would glide even better, but we'll see what happens. 65 seems really slow. It seems really slow. Already downloaded. Okay, let's just see what happens. Files. Downloads. Where's that file? Sort by newest. Okay. $68 knots. So 68. I don't know. This is like, it's so hard to judge from this far. Let's just turn a little bit closer to the runway. I can see it. Is it right down there? Where is it? This is it right here, I think. So, we can try to use our moving spot technique to see if we're actually gonna... Hi. Hey, Bear. We can use moving spot to see if we're actually gonna make it. So, if this is the runway right there, we're keeping constant speed. How it looks right now is we'll overshoot because it's going down in our windshield. So far it looks like the glide ratio is at least somewhat accurate because according to the calculations should definitely have made it there. So looks like we're looking good so far. So good that I'm gonna go even wider. Yeah. Let's see if I'm confident enough that we'll make it even with cutting the power completely. So our descent rate looks like it increased. And we'll see what it looks like now. I'll point directly at the runway. Well, not directly, but close. It's a lot quieter with no engine on. See what happens now. I'll try to keep my view. Try to keep my view static. This is the threshold right here. So if anything, it looks like we're... Am I drifting? Oh, what happened to my... Why is it... hello? What the hell? This game is like... It's supposed to be following my heading, and then all of a sudden just decides to fuck off. Oops. Yeah, we're gonna be good. If anything, I'm too high right now. Yep. Throw down some flaps, slow us down a bit. Let's just go full, why not? Try to slip this thing down. Don't want to go too
500.
much though, just in case, because I shut the engine off. Looking good. A little bit too high, a little bit too fast. There we go. Beauty. So that's somewhat realistic too, the prop, because in real life your airspeed will keep the prop rotating even though the engine's off. Even though the engine's off. So that's interesting to see. Should start right back up. Yep. Cool. Well, that was interesting to see that that actually was accurate, because calculations did say that I would glide a little bit farther than I actually was, so that's cool. I don't know what is going on with the heading, though. Because when I press this, it should move the heading bug. Oh, there we go. What happened there? I don't even know. Okay, well. Is what it is. What other realistic things can we test? Oh yeah, I was testing the service ceiling. So that's gonna take a while. I wonder, I could probably get there faster if we just, oops, start in the air. Let's just start out here. And according to this, 14,000 feet. So we climb up to 14,000 feet. We should start seeing the airplane not climbing anymore, or at least climbing very slowly. Less than 50 feet a minute. Okay. Autopilot is on, it looks like. Let's set the heading mode. And let's set the FLC to 73 or 74. And set our altitude to 15,000. So FLC at 74 means the autopilot's gonna get us to climb at 74 knots, which is the best rate of climb. So that'll get us to. Oh, see, it only started me at 1,000 feet, so it didn't really do much there as far as helping us get there faster. But but the sim rate will. Turn around. Whoops. And we're losing power as we climb, so that's fairly accurate as well. So as the air gets thinner, we get less power. I've got this thing set to full power, so the last time I climbed up this high, it started giving me ice, which it should not do because it's clear. You don't get any ice if you're not in any precipitation. So see what happens. We're getting there because we're only climbing at 3 degrees, 2 degrees. Just make sure my flaps aren't down yet. Just make sure my power's not messed up. Oh, it's full. Oh yeah, we can inch a little bit of power by bleeding the mixture out. Just fairly accurate. You're not going to fly it full rich in standard settings. But this is a pretty shallow climb at only 3 degrees. ...150 feet a minute, 200 feet a minute, now that I'm not turning. clean it out a little bit more. How far from Powell River? CYPW. Do, 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 do. CYBL. Why is CYPW not on there? That's weird. Let's just pause this for a second while I... No, let's not go there. C... Y... P... W... 30 miles. When we're at 15,000 feet or 14,000 feet, let's see. Okay, so we'll get a little bit closer. Ah. But our service ceiling is looking like it's starting to come into effect because we've got full power, 74, that would be my best speed, and I've got 0 feet per minute. So if I can try to make sure that this is standard temperature, yeah, might climb a little bit more. Make sure there's no like crazy winds or anything. See if I can inch out any more just from leaning it a tiny bit. Yep. So let's set this to GPS or nav, see if it works. Should. Okay, it still says 200 feet a minute. Okay, losing a bit of RPMs now. Losing more. And then you get to a point with your mixture where you're not going to be able to gain much more power. It's down to 100. Yep, got some more RPM. But you also have to look at temps. So my oil temp is still green. Everything's so good. Fuel flow is 20. Oh no, sorry, it's not. I'm an idiot. Yeah, everything's still good. EGT is really cold. So, I mean, you lean the thing out and I exceed the service ceiling. I don't have any ice though. That's good. How far away is um, how far away is 23? Might be able to glide there. 23. I'm at 14,200. Let's say 14.5. 21.3. QQ. That is Comox. So let's go there. Let's go to Comox 22. miles. And what did I say for my glide range? 21.3. So let's set our altitude for 14,000 this. And did I even set VNAV mode? Yep. Should level us out. Or not. Where's alt here? There we go. 20. Let's cut the power and set FLC here to... Oh shit. We want... Oh no. Oh god. We want FLC. We want 200 feet. We want nav. Yep. Why did it cancel my... I don't know, it's still there. Set our heading just in case. FLC to 68. And then hopefully we'll make it there, because it's right there. See what happens with our descent rate when I cut the power. Increased significantly, and then what? So it went from 750 to 850. If I put this back in, it should like start back up. Yep. Oh, no. It should start. Why isn't it staying? Well, I guess I'm screwed. Oh, there we go. That's pretty funny. So how are we looking here? We're looking pretty good. It's staying pretty centered in my view. Let's just set this to heading, set a GPS, so that I can control it a little better. To aim for the threshold. It's called Comox.
Comex Tower Cessna Alpha Sierra
Comex.
X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is 15 miles east with Husker to land.
77, I'm going to heaven.
Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha Comox Tower. Fly left traffic, runway 12. Altimeter 29.902 windcom.
Left traffic 12.
Enter left downwind runway 127. Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
Yeah, so they want me to join a downwind and turn to land 1-2, which is this way. That way. I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be telling them that I have an engine failure. Alright, so right now, we're slowly creeping. There's the threshold. With a slightly leaned mixture, we were slowly overshooting that point. We're still slowly overshooting that point. Once we're for sure gonna make it, maybe then I'll cut the power. For now, I'll just go a little bit wider. Just a little. I could not imagine gliding this far in real life. But like, it's kind of interesting though, because, you know, simulated engine out, you're gliding a long time if you got altitude. At least in a 172 you are. There's the runway. Yeah, let's cut it. Just for shits. I'll point more right at the threshold. Too bad you can't make... I mean, I guess there's no point in making an emergency call with AI traffic. So I don't know why it's doing this. So I'll try to do it manually. 'Cause the autopilot's all fucked up. Oh, I bet you... No, my power's still on. It should be... I was thinking it would be... The gyro was dying, but the gyro should be... yeah, actually, that might be... What's going on here? I just tightened that. Oh my god. My flight stick is a disaster. We're gonna aim right at the runway still. Trying to fix my joystick. Oh shit. This is the sticky side of the tape together. Oh, that's why. Came off. Looks like I need some new tape. Also looks like I'm gonna overshoot this runway by quite a bit. So what do I want to do in that situation where, let's say my engine's actually out. I don't want to risk going too wide and then not making it. I might even be able to do what they asked me to do, which was join a left downwind for 1-2. So let's try that. I'm only 4 miles out and I've still got 4,000 feet to lose. Yeah, I'm like super high. Or 5,000 feet to lose. Got 3 runways to choose from if I really need. Or did they have 3? No, just 2. Alright, you want me to join a left downwind for 1-2? I'll join a left downwind for 1-2. Engine out. No big deal. I should do this. I should be playing VR more often. It's just no good to stream in VR. Alright, we're looking good. We're at 37. We're 1.2 or 2 miles out, and we were at 5,000 feet at what, 5 miles out? Seems about right. Judge it again once I'm abeam. $3,000? Wow. Almost a beam. 27. So there's the markers. Got our threshold, 1,000-foot marker.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, clear to land runway 12. Wind calm.
Golf Sierra Alpha. Oh my god, did the game just crash? After all that? Oh my god, it just crashed.